ahead and go ahead and give me a 1, 2, 3 clap for me so I can sync up the audio properly.
1, 2, 3. Oh well, I forgot that I don't have. I have noise canceling on. Whoops. 1, 2, 3.
You know what? I did actually hear that. So
Nice.
that's great. We should actually be able to use that. All right, great. Honestly, that's fucking perfect. I guess funnily enough, I guess it's probably gonna be a fucking cold open when it comes to the when it actually gets uploaded on YouTube. But anyway, welcome to the Scambles Podcast, the podcast about constantly moving through life in shambles, but you're so in shambles that you can't even pronounce it properly. My name is Isiah. This is the third episode. As always, joined by a lovely co-host. It changes almost every episode now. Here with my friend Elijah, also of the Tampa FGC. Elijah, how you doing today?
Chilling. Got 8 hours of sleep. Then I woke up, skated around the area, and then Tampa, being Tampa, decided to be bipolar and rain.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that's, you know what? I also somehow managed to get 8 hours of sleep. And that's really funny because I DM'd you a very set time. And the time was actually, I was like really, really comfortable about it. I was like, you normally, by the time I wake up, you're like already streaming. So I could probably realistically say that you'll be available to stream at that time. And I was like, you know what? I'll be ready at like 12. And then I sent you that at about 12 in the morning. And then I sent you another message at 3 in the morning. I was like, can we do 12:30?
I got that message and I was like, hey, you know what? Ain't nothing wrong with a little bit extra sleep, let me tell you.
But somehow, despite that, I managed to wake up at like 11, which is a very solid time. I spent the rest of that time actually going ahead and just like making sure everything was good. And we're fine now, actually. We actually could have done 12, but I was like, you know what? Since I got the extra time, I might as well double, triple check everything I've got going on. So
Yeah.
here I am.
Yeah, no. I like woke up and I was like, dude, I have like so much time before 12. Let me figure out what I'm going to do. So then, like I said, I got up, I went around, I skated. I usually skate for like an hour to get like some bit of exercise. And then I looked up in the sky and I was like, oh, those clouds look way darker than normal. And I was like, it should be fine.
Yeah.
Incorrect. As it started raining heavy, and I was like, well, I guess this is how my day is going. My bad for not checking the weather.
Yeah, they've been absolutely awful. I was literally like, I might actually get up, I might go outside a little bit. And it's exactly as you said. Dude, I woke up today to like my dog hates thunder. She hates thunder. She hates lightning. If she sees that shit, she will start freaking out. My dog, mind you, was not in my room before I went to bed. I woke up and she was in my bed. I was like, what? This doesn't even like feasibly make sense. Like, I'm actually still thinking about it now. The logistics of how an animal can enter my room with the door. Well, the door was unlocked, but enter my room and then get in my bed. She evolved. She gained a new level of consciousness specifically because of how scared she was. It was insane.
It's like when just like randomly dogs or cats decide to stand on their hind legs and act normal for like a little like 10 seconds, and that was just enough time to just get into the bed.
Freak me the fuck out. Yeah, I guess. But I'm wondering if this is gonna be an all day occurrence, because it might affect our ability to go to to Gamers on the Edge, which I haven't. I don't think I've ever talked about it on the podcast before, but Gamers on the Edge is a local of mine for the FGC people who will end up listening to this. And also a local of Elijah's as well. That I'm a representative of. That we go, and on Saturdays it's supposed to be FGC night, but really it's just a group of grown people just chilling and just doing
Just
literally
hanging
fucking
out.
whatever. We have maybe once in a blue moon, we'll be like, hey, this game is really fun. Let's do a monthly for it. And then that'll be it. We have no consistent bracket whatsoever.
Sometimes fighting games happen. Sometimes
Sometimes.
fighting games happen.
But more often than not, it's just chilling. And then at some part of the night, we take the big TV and then we just turn on an anime in the background while we all do different things like playing Magic the Gathering or whatnot. But yeah, it'll really suck if it gets like super bad. Cause apparently some people in my apartment complex, their power ended up going off. Not mine though, because I'm built different. But some other people's did, and hopefully that won't happen if we end up going to Goaty. Well, not if we end up. I'm definitely going to Goaty tonight. I'm not gonna sit inside all day. Are you kidding me? I'm a young person with a social life.
Right? That's usually what happens. That's like what I look forward to. I don't go out. I go out to work and then I hang out, and then because I work at a game store, so I have to be kind of social with people.
Mhm.
And then I go home, and then I'm like, all right, time to hang out with my Discord friends or stream. And then on Saturday, I'm like, I have to leave the house. I gotta go. I'm gonna go to Goaty. I'm gonna hang out with everyone there because actively, I'm really bad at also hanging out with other people on Discord, especially when I see them in the call, and I'm like, there's a lot of people in there.
I don't know. I wanna
I don't know.
Well, yeah, exactly. You're like going to Goaty. You're like forcing yourself to interact because when you go there, someone's certainly going to be talking to you about something at some point or another. We've got a lot of social people, very socially active people at Goaty. Point in case, there's a new person who came to our locals whose name escapes me, unfortunately. This is only the second week they've come there. If they come today, it'll be the third week that they've been there. And hopefully I'll be able to lock in their name. But by the second week, they were already hanging out and playing games with other people and playing League of Legends with Javier.
Oh my god.
Playing fucking League of Legends, dude. Oh my god. We got a LAN set up for League, and they were out there and they were playing League with Javier and them. And I'm like, well, doesn't get much more social than playing League of Legends in real life. Well, maybe it does get more so. Maybe that's like the opposite of social. But regardless, they were hanging out and they were participating in activities. So yeah.
It's so funny the difference between the Goaty on a Wednesday and Goaty on a Saturday. Because on Saturday, it actually happens. There's a weekly and they play Rivals and Smash Bros. Sometimes. And it's like set up. They start at 7, usually it ends at 11, and then like games happen. And then it's like, okay, cool. Saturday, I will say Monster Hunter Wild dropped. And I brought my entire PlayStation. My entire PS5. Javier brought his entire PC setup, and we were locked in.
Yeah. And then from there was a period of about a month and a half or maybe like 2 months where even outside of Goaty, we would bring our Switches and we would all play Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. Like we would just set up LAN parties for Monster Hunter GU, which probably pound for pound the greatest Monster Hunter game I've ever played. I like the classic feel of Monster Hunter a lot more. And then on top of that, it's like very like a fleshed out version where things are more cohesive and make way more fucking sense. And just feels a lot better to participate in than if I was playing like Monster Hunter 3 Try. But I digress. Yeah, the social aspect of going to Goaty on Saturdays is pretty much you show up, you will be hanging out with somebody, and you will be participating in some sort of hobby that somebody else has managed to rack up, even if you're like a regular or not. Whereas like Wednesdays are no shame to them, but Wednesdays is definitely way more competitively focused. They show up with their like paraphernalia. They're like, we're here to play Smash Bros. Or we're here to play Rivals. Every setup is dedicated to like warming up with like friendlies, and then all the like there's one major conversation going on, and it's what game they are currently participating in at that moment is, and any like diverging talk is like, if it's not directly related to the competition itself, it's related to something happening in that like same community. Whereas you go to Goaty and then it'll be like hey, did you see oh, turn on Z Gundam, like
Yeah, right.
like, turn the Gundam on the big TV. Let's go get Indian food. Hey, do you want to play Magic the Gathering? Like,
You want to play like right now? I know that Juicy is just has Tatsunoko versus Capcom in the back. And it's just
yeah,
like, all right. And then I get dragged into dude, the amount of times I go there and I get dragged into an entire different game. And I'm like, I don't think I want to play it. And then I play it. I'm like, dang, this game is sick. Dude, because my chat has mentioned, because they're funny. My friend Ness Heyman, he was like, yo, podcast with top one Project Justice player. I just want everyone to know I tripped into Project Justice. My friend, he just was like, yo, Eggy, you want to play this game? And I'm like, dude, this game looks so weird. I don't think I'll like it. And then he's just like, nah, just press buttons. You'll love it. And then taught me the buttons. And I was like, wait a second. This game's kind of sick. And then now
that
I
game
like
is
that
really
game
fun.
a lot.
I think that game is a really good example of like exactly what I was talking about where earlier, where I was saying that people will at in the Saturday community will just straight up come across a game sometimes where we'll just have a monthly for it because people just really like it. And I know that Juicy Kevin would love to have TVC be one of those because he's trying to get people to play it. He's got Ron, Taskmaster, Marvel 3 legend, Ronan Healy playing it. He's got me, legend of myself, Jet Set Ringo playing it. He's got you playing it. You legendary Hyjin no Soki player.
Dude, it's so funny. That
Fucking
character.
big
Visual.
fucking half screen light, big button presser player, legendary player, fucking playing the damn game.
Pray to God I don't have red hell, because the Baroque is gonna go crazy. You're
Oh
just
my
gonna
god.
lose half your life.
And you know what? Like I'm really feeling it, and I really like Goaty specifically for that reason, because I feel like a lot of locals, and there's nothing wrong with this, but it just is the fact of the matter that a local usually in the FGC is a sort of like bubble for like the perpetuation of one particular type of like competitive atmosphere. And if you really aren't engaged in whatever that local is like doing at the time, there's kind of no reason for you to show up to it. Because I haven't gone to a lot of other locals that were like dedicated to Smash or dedicated to like Melty Blood or dedicated to like Tekken. right, just like games off the top of my head, where if you went there, people were willing to have a long form conversation or engage in other activities long form that weren't literally what that local is advertising like that night. But Goaty, it sacrifices some of that like competitive like atmosphere in exchange for everyone is way more open to engage in different types of like fighting games or whatever somebody may have an interest in. And there's still an upside because you might find yourself normally with people being like, oh, let's just go in and we'll just press buttons and everybody's kind of bad. But most people at Goaty, we're all like veterans of fighting games. Like everybody is a grown individual who's been playing fighting games either a very long time or kind of a long time. Those are really the only two in betweens. And so we all have like basic fundamentals to just be able to like pick it up and immediately be able to like challenge somebody within like a few days of like understanding those buttons. Point in case, Kevin, who's been playing the fuck out of TVC, I was able to give him a run for his money in TVC just by picking up two fucking characters and then realizing what the combo routing was kind of like in that game.
Oh yeah.
And uh take games off of you and him with just like a couple hours of playing. And by the way, I got the Dolphin emulator, I got the ISO for that, and I've been labbing that game. So y'all are about to
Oh,
catch the hands.
I know, I'm cooked.
y'all are about to catch the hands. You fooled me once, you will not fool me again.
my, I wouldn't. Okay, so right to go back to what you were saying, because I have not been labbing. I have the one combo and I have the one idea with Batsu. That's what I'm gonna stick with for a little bit. That might carry me for a while, but yeah, no, Goaties is fun, even if you're not even like a veteran, because I don't think I'm too crazy at fighting games. I've been shot for saying that I'm not good at fighting games. Thank you, Ryvalda. She actively will box me if they hear about it, and I keep saying that I'm bad at fighting games. But it's really funny the amount of growth that I've had from just going every Saturday and just kind of getting cooked. Yes, I do in fact dabble, Ness. I am also talking to my chat, just so you know.
You're fine. You're good.
Yeah. Yes. I make a joke in my own Discord where like I don't really play fighting games inside my home, even though I like should, and I keep saying I will, which might change at some point. I don't know when, but it will.
Still gotta play Fatal Fury. Might change.
Still gotta play Fatal Fury.
Still gotta play Fatal Fury.
Dude, they buffed Preacher. One of my friends said I have no excuse anymore. So actively, I have to log back in.
You don't have an excuse.
Yeah, and I just have gotten way better to the point where like I have an understanding. I know what I want to do in the game, especially with some of my characters. Just sometimes I'm just not choosing to do it. Like I just neutral. I'm trying to skip that every time.
Yeah, I just don't want to participate in that.
Dude. It's just not. It's not okay. It's not fun. But it's still going to Goaty has shown me like nothing will beat playing against a person and next to you, even if it is in a friendly way. Because like, Green Duck or I guess Corey, if they care, I don't know. Has they got you and him have got me playing Tekken 8 a little bit. Not crazy, but like. When we play the set, I don't care if I'm getting cooked, but the back and forth banter between us is like the most funniest aspect ever. It's just random things that we've done to each other, and then it's just you're just like, don't block that. That's plus whatever, and they're just so loud about it. And it's like, you know what? That's just you just can't get that anywhere or online sometimes. You don't get that in a ranked match. You don't get that in a casual match on Street Fighter 6. Next to the person, dude, you're just shit talking. It's so good.
Yeah, I definitely. That's kind of that's like a takeaway from. Like me going to me going to like arcades and more kind of just like hangout-y areas and I'm sure a lot of other people like experience this too. But yeah, like that definitely goes back to like people when they show up to at a local just to like collect money and just show how good they are at their game locally, you don't really get a lot of that like same aura, that like same vibe. But when you're just there, and it can be as competitive as if you were in a bracket for like money, if two people are like similar skill levels, that like banter that you have the ability to have, like you said, is absolutely fucking incredible. I remember I was playing, I don't know, I think you were there. Yeah, you were there for that because your family members showed up and they were playing
Oh
Smash Bros on the
yeah.
side. But me and Gabe were playing Tekken, and he did something to me, and I told him, I was like I said something along the lines of like, that shit is illegal. I'm calling the cops, the white ones. and and he laughed so hard he literally dropped like his neutral like button, and I was like, sick, my time to shine, baby, and I comboed him and I fucking killed him. And like that type of shit, like the humor you can get from a situation like that is something that is like so rare to be able to get at a local, which is why I appreciate Goaty so much. I'm always like, I don't ever talk about it, but I'm always so appreciative of gamers of the edge or gamers on the edge and what they do, because you really don't find a spot like gamers on the edge often. Like I remember Ultra David, um not a Tampa person, but an FGC person nonetheless. The quote unquote FGC lawyer um called that because he is a literal lawyer. Like he has passed the bar exam, I believe.
Yeah.
Um Ultra David, I remember last year or something, had a helped uh, put together list of locals that you could get in like each individual state. And I was aware of every single local in Florida. Um, I remember he put together a list of every single local per state, and all the locals in Florida I had like seen or I had been to already at that point. None of them are like Goaty. Goaty's like literally the only local in the entire state where you can get this type of like experience at. Like the aura of like camaraderie over like competition.
Dude, it will always be the most funniest experience playing against it was Rye playing against Rye, and it was in Guilty Gear Strive, and they're like, all right, like first to five, and I was just like, dude, I'm gonna get cooked, I think. And I was like, why are you trying to challenge me? I'm gonna get cooked, you're gonna beat my ass. And she was like, no, I haven't played this game, I'm rusty. And I think one of the sets something happened, and I was just playing some really good neutral, and I think I like air through her, or like I air through her, I did something, and she straight up hit me with the, don't ever say you're fucking bad at this game again. You just did that. And I was like, you know what? Maybe possibly I'm kind of nice at this game.
Did
Dude,
the
I have
best
like
anti-air in the game, the air throw.
air throw. Dude, I because Ness called me out on it. I have such an issue with downplaying my characters because it's so funny. Because I have a curse. I call it the curse, but it's not. But most of the times when I pick a character in a fighting game, it's generally before the fighting game either drops
Mm.
or it's like super late in its span, or it's really old. And I'm like, oh, this character looks really cool, to find out they're like top tier, or they get buffed and they're like the best character in the game. And that's when I start playing the game. And it's not like, oh, I heard that they were the best character. It's like, dang, this character looks really cool, I think I'm going to play him.
Yeah, this could be go deep.
And every single time it happens, I'm like, man, my character sucks. And my friends hate it all the time, every time. Because imagine I started playing, I'm not going to call it a fighting game in quotation. I'm going to get fighting game in quotation mark. I play Smash Ultimate. I try to be competitive in that game. I picked a silly robot named Rob. And I was like, yeah, because Rob was my main in Brawl and I liked how he played. To find out that he had like a 2-frame down tilt and that he is kind of cracked. And I was like, yeah, Rob's not that good. And everyone hates when I say that. Everyone hates when I say that. I'm like, he's just a funny haha robot. And then fast forward, I play actual fighting games a little bit more. I played Strive, and my friends were like, you should play Leo. And I was like, that seems like an interesting character. To find out, one of the best characters in the game, still one of the best characters in the game.
Yeah.
And he is just kind of doing the same thing. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, like, Leo's okay. Sometimes, he gets kind of cooked. And then everyone's like, you have a flash kick and a really good projectile and really good mix built into your character. And I'm like, yeah, but you can just jab me out of it, though. And then they want to murder me.
And then they get mad and they're like, yeah.
They're like actually playing characters that actually have to play the game. And I'm just there. I'm like, yeah, my character's not that good. Cough, cough, Catalina.
Yeah, like how many times do you actually have to physically engage with the activities provided in the game? Like when you go, like you sometimes you choose characters in fighting games sometimes that are kind of the equivalent of like when everyone goes into like a classroom and they all failed the test the other day, and so they have to do like a makeup quiz by the teacher, and then the teacher explicitly looks at you and goes, except for you were the only one who got a 95% on the test, so you can actually go on your phone and you can listen to music and you can do whatever until the end of the class while everybody else finishes the test. And then everybody in the classroom looks at you and you can feel them wanting to disintegrate you with their pure sight. You just don't have to engage in like the annoying activities provided by the game that day.
It's really funny. Cause like I never know. I'm just like, man, look at this. Look at the haha funny, quirky white woman in the game. Let me pick her. And then they're like, yeah, she has like everything. And I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, oh, dude, everyone's like, oh, you should play this character. I'm like, yeah, he has some cool combos. And then like later he gets buffed and or he's just like, they're like, oh yeah, he's like brain dead easy. And I'm like, yeah, but because he's brain dead easy doesn't mean he plays my playstyle. It fits my playstyle perfectly. And I'm like, god dang it. I guess I got to deal with that. I guess that's my fault. I should have never gotten the fighting games.
No, but
it's just so funny. It's just so funny to play the fighting game and just know people hate me. And it's not even because not even like because I'm the best player in the game. It's just because like my character just brings out a cardinal desire to actually just want them dead. Want them gone.
Now, see, what we have to do in order to combat that, we have to take away your sense of fundamentals. We've got to get you on whatever the fuck that they're doing in the corner at Goaty now, where they have 3 League of Legends setups at the venue where they're playing that fuck ass game. Oh my god!
You'll never catch me playing that game where I'd rather die. I used to play League, and I will never go back. No one can make me.
I kind of hate League of Legends. I like team fight tactics, but it's not worth installing Riot on my computer because then I have to put Riot Vanguard on my computer, and that is just not something that seems like a good idea. So probably not gonna engage in that too much. Oh man, even when fucking 2XKO comes out. But what's funny about that is that they were talking about using it for like different types of things, like different type, maybe like some like PC exclusive stuff. But I was like, this seems a little bit more like MOBA oriented because they had the Razer like Chroma products They had the like Razer V3 Basilisk, and they had the fucking Black Adders, and they had the fucking whatever the keyboard is called, but like the 60% keyboards, the little minis, and they had the mics glowing and everything with the mouse pads below them. And it was like very like all of them had League of Legends installed on it. And I was like, oh Lord, no, like this is you motherfuckers are here to play League of Legends.
I'm not about to do all that. I'm not about to set. No, I wouldn't. I couldn't do that. I saw them. I went, you guys. If you guys are enjoying your time, I'll let you guys enjoy your time. Me, I'm gonna stay over here.
I was briefly pulled into that game because I'm a sucker for stuff that have like Sun Wukong in them, because Sun Wukong is my favorite like mythological character. So whenever something has like Sun Wukong in it, I'll play it. Like for instance, I don't, as much as I like Smite, I would not call myself an active player, and I haven't been an active player for like 2 years. But I played Smite since like season 1, and I played it semi consistently up until like year 8 of that game, year 9, and then I was very on and off. But man, even when playing Wukong in League of Legends, I got like 3 weeks into that game, and then that felt like one of the worst experiences. I literally generated a headache every single time I played that game. Every time I got off, my head hurt. I was like, fuck.
Dude,
This shit is
that
not healthy.
that game. I didn't play Smite, but I did play. When I did play League, League would put me in a weird, wacky headspace, and it wasn't a headspace I liked. It would always get to a point where like either the game went on long enough where I'd just be like, either winning or losing, I just start tower diving people. I'm just like, I'm not into this game to want to really care too much about it. And sometimes it'd work, sometimes it'd be beneficial, and other times it'd be like, okay. And I was just like, dude, if I am throwing these games where I don't care enough, do I really like this game? And I only like League of Legends for one character, and that's Rammus. And because he's just the funniest little guy. Like he's just so goofy.
All right, I agree.
But everyone else, I'm just like, dude, I couldn't care less. I think that I'm not really interested in it. And so I just kind of stopped playing. To which then I started playing COD, and that's the second mistake in my life.
You know what? That's totally fair. That like getting competitive in different ways is like I and I'm starting to lose it, which I think is like a good thing for me, because the type of life that I have to live as somebody who needs money to continue existing is I can't be as like competitive as I would like for stuff anymore. Um because I work like 40-hour, sometimes 45/50 hour work week, depending on like if like overtime is available or whatnot. Um and getting competitive in the ways that like, oh, I'm like, you go on like League of Legends like forums, and you look up the boards, and you're like, what's the best build, and what's the characters, and how do I min max my rotations, and how do I make sure the last hit confirm on creeps, and all this, that, and a third is like stuff that I do not want to do anymore. I don't want to do it anymore. So like I could never kind of get back into like those types of games. Fighting games are different because fighting games are very intuitive to me. Like I had this conversation with some Grand Blue players yesterday. I was talking to some Grand Blue people that I know, but I was talking about how fighting games at their base level knowing like what to do and like knowing how to like approach and like press a button or something is kind of the same sort of like brain chemistry that goes on when you are like looking at like a basketball hoop and you just intuitively know like how much like muscle contraction you need to push the ball back and like how much like lift you need to push the ball forward and like the fact that each of your fingertips need to like almost make this squeezing motion in order to put spin on the ball so that it like rotates and has like less like air friction and like how your elbows have to bend a certain way. Like everything happens. Everything is so complicated, but it all happens at the same time, and that's your brain making all of those things happen. There's just this sort of like intuitive speed math. There's like a calculus that goes on to like different things in your body that you don't even have to think about. Like your brain knows how to do calculus and trigonometry, even if what you consider your separate consciousness itself doesn't. When you jump and you jump on a box, like how did you know how high exactly you needed to jump in order to get on that, right? Like stuff like that. When you go and you're playing fighting games and you're like pressing a button, or when you like when you're standing away from somebody and you realize there's an air dash mechanic in the game and you know that like, oh, I have to stand this exact distance in order for my air dash to land at that exact point. You didn't do the Pythagorean theorem at that moment to figure out how far it needed to go. You just knew, right? Like
Yeah.
intuitively. And that's kind of how fighting games are in general. And that's definitely at the point where it's at to me. That's kind of like how I just fall back. But outside of that, I don't really focus on that anymore. Now I'm just kind of like, I want to do like content creation. Like I still want to be good at things, but I don't have that delusion of like oh, I'm gonna if I work hard enough, I'm gonna like win Evo or something like that I used to have. And maybe that's like a death of like childlike innocence in a particular sense, but in like swapping it with realism. But I don't know. I enjoy making content, so that's good for me now.
Yeah. Fighting games for me have always kind of been, I wanted to be competitive in a game like that. Like I said, I wanted to be competitive in Ultimate, but then like I got cooked at my first local and I was like, maybe I'm just not doing it. And I really looked at it and I was like, dude, there's so many things and mechanics and stuff in Smash Bros that I just don't want to learn. I just don't feel like I want to learn. To which that pushed me towards fighting games just in general, because then like I learned how to do a quarter circle. My first fighting game was Skullgirls.
Hmm.
And I was playing that on my PC on the keyboard, so I knew how to do a quarter circle. I understood the ideology of what you need to do for this game,
Right.
for like games. But like it just made sense because I wasn't worried about like, oh, on shield like platforms, certain moves doing certain things or anything, coming back to stage. It was just like one grounded bit that I had to just figure out. You're in an enclosed space, you jump. The only thing that you can do really is jump. It's 2D because I don't really play 3D games too crazy. But like it just kind of made sense. And also fighting games like that I have learned that like I'm not too crazy on learning frame data. Like I know it exists, and I know it would totally make it way nicer if I knew the frame data of something. But I have just learned that during a match, if I find out something's bullshit, I kind of just keep that in mind forever for that character. So when the next time I see it, I kind of am like, yeah, that shit doesn't do, you're not getting away with that. You got to stop doing it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna let you have that. Yeah.
And it just kind of keeps happening at some point, to a point where then I kind of just get I kind of get the game and I get the character. Because the game that I did that for was, I didn't learn frame data. I didn't learn anything crazy. Was For Honor. I used to be so into For Honor. I bought that game on launch. I played a character named Lawbreaker, Lawbringer, and he was the weakest character for some bit. But I got really good at him because I kind of just understood every single character and what they wanted to do. And I just kind of used that. And it just, I kind of just was like, oh yeah, this just makes sense. Because if I not go too long, because For Honor is a crazy intuitive games from time to time.
Yeah.
Lawbringer's idea they wanted was big man, swing axe. But how he swung the axe, it was really low, really telegraphed. So you always had to play. You had to turtle. You kind of had to play passively and make the mistake, because he had a little weird mechanic where if you ever blocked the attack with Lawbringer, you could press a button and he would shove the character out. They would counter shove, and then you would get a guaranteed light, like a light attack or just a move off of it. And so you would just be like, all right, well, if they don't mix me up, I'm just going to chip away at their health, and then I'm going to throw out a move if they're not really prepared for it. And that's just the thing I got. And I just would learn that certain characters' timings, and it wouldn't be me playing the game or anything, or going in checking the frame data. I just played them enough times. I was like, oh yeah, you're going to do this. This happens. This is the follow-up. And then this is just not going to hit me. I'm not getting hit by that. That's super slow. Right. And I got really good at that to the point where I was racking up salty messages. They'd get so upset. And I lived for it. I think that's where that's one of my toxic traits of, if you get mad at me, I take that as a win if I'm not friends with you, and it makes me giddy. It makes me really happy. And then I play fighting games, and then I was like, man, this is even better.
Yeah, I was about to say that's like a really, it's almost a requirement of fighting games, is that's kind of the attitude that you need to partake with most things in fighting games, where it's like you need to have that attitude of your anger is what gives me the sustenance to continue being good at the game. Because a lot of people are going to get very angry, and if you have the capacity to feel bad, which sounds really fun though. If you have the capacity to feel bad when you do something to somebody that is very offhanded and annoying, and is meant to obfuscate the truth and take advantage of people's perception, if you feel bad for manipulating people, fighting games is not for you, because that's 80% of what you do in fighting games is just manipulate people's perception of things.
Yeah, it's really funny because I think I am not I this is probably a thing about a reoccurring thing. I don't think I'm the craziest fighting game player, but I will tell you, I'll take my losses in stride unless the match is closed. But that's not what I'm talking about. If I lose convincingly, I'm like, yeah, I lost. But at any point, I think the other person on the other side of the screen is upset. I have the biggest grin, and I am shit talking to a whole different level. And I am like, dang, this. I'm rubbing my hand like a villain. I'm like a psychopath.
Oh,
he's mad.
He's mad.
Mad. And it makes me so happy. If it's my friends and they're mad, I'm like, oh no, I don't want this, because I want them to enjoy the fighting game. But if you're a random stranger to me, ooh, brother, trust me, I'm going to throw out every single move that I think you would be so mad about.
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes it happens too with friends, but Leo command grab and back turn stance is so funny to hit people with.
The power bomb is such a funny move. I
Dude,
love
it
hitting people with that
exists.
shit.
Dude, it exists. People don't think about it because he has so many other things to mix you up. And then randomly, it's just, oh yeah, command grab, and you're like, what? It's slow, and I usually assume I'm gonna get like hit out of it, or they're gonna jump it on reaction. But then I hit it, and the person is like, I got hit by that, and I'm like, yeah, and oh boy, the dopamine I get.
I think you would be very, very good at making like rage bait content. I think if we brought back rage bait content specifically for the FGC, I think you could make a killing because you definitely play characters that make people very, very angry. I don't know who you played in Skullgirls, but I could probably hazard a guess. Like I could probably say, Now I was gonna say someone like Big Bang, but I don't know if that's necessarily the type of person you are. You're more like playing like Misfortune and like Parasol or like Double and like Eliza.
You know what's funny is that you were so incorrect.
I'm incorrect. Damn.
I play solo Valentine in Skullgirls.
Solo Valent. Damn. Yeah, Valentine
Yeah.
is a you character.
And you know what's it's funny because when I bought Skullgirls, I bought it with friends, and we were like, "Ooh, look at this fighting game! Ooh, hot women, haha,
Ooh,
funny."
we're all gonna play it.
Yeah, and it was like when I was in around middle school, going into high school, and my friends and I would do middle school and going to high school. We would get off the bus. I get on my laptop. We'd go on Steam, check games, and then be like, "Dude, Skullgirl, this Girl game is on sale. We should do it. We should play this." And then we're like, "Ooh, look at this!" And I like picked Valentine. Obviously, little kid me saw nurse character. I was like, "Oh my god, into this! I'm here for this." But then I was like the only person that kind of figured out like, oh, if you press these buttons together, the combo keeps going, and then this kind of keeps happening. This was not before I found out how to do button inputs, by the way. But like I was like, oh yeah, you do like light, medium, heavy, kit punch into like that does a combo. And I kind of just was like, oh, that's cool. And then we dropped the game. And then that's when my brother was into fighting games too. It's also the reason why I like Jury.
Yeah.
But he taught me how to do a quarter circle, and then I kind of understood how to play the game. And then I found out that Valentine had vials, and as soon as I found out what input lag was, and she had one that lets you manipulate someone else's input lag, game over. It was wrapped.
That's a dickheaded move. That's the definition of a dickheaded move. I'll fucking tell you.
I was like, oh, poison. Oh, this makes hit stun. I was like, what's this green one? Oh, I guess it makes them I can hit them a little longer. And then the orange one, I had no idea what it did. I had to look it up. And they're like, oh yeah, input lag. It makes their input lag more. And I was like, what does that mean? And I watched a YouTube video, and a dude was like, yeah, so if they try to press a button, it is delayed. And I went, oh, really?
The harassment button.
And I did that to my friend. And he was like, bro, is the game lagging? And I'm like, nah, this is input lag. I get to do this to you. And he was just like, I'm not playing this game anymore with you. You've gotten too good. I was like, bro, what is this? You've gotten
too good. You've learned, and I can't handle it anymore.
And I was like, no. And that'll be why I forever love Valentine. Actually, don't do what I do. Solo Valentine is such a bad team. It's not a good idea. Just pick an assist. Give her an assist. Like Valentine is a good character with an assist. Do not play Solo Valentine. Don't do what I did.
I agree.
But yeah, no. To be honest, I grew up. I think I was bound to play a fighting game because I grew up in a family that we I grew up with the GameCube and then the Wii, and we had Melee and we had Brawl. And my brother would kick my ass every single time. To the point where I'd be like, dude, if I could find a way to play these games and I practice, I just wanted to be better than him. To the point where I reached that goal, and he doesn't play fighting games as often anymore. But like, I just remember just getting bullied, and I'm like, dude, I want him to understand that I'm going to be better than him at some point. And it happened when I figured that out when we went to our cousin's house, and one of my aunts has a cousin my brother's age, and then two sons that are my age, and they would always play games and we'd be separate. And it got to the point where they're like, hey, let's play some Smash Bros. And we were playing Smash Ultimate. And it was really funny when my cousin said, oh my God, they saw like their little brothers playing together. And they're like, oh, it's just like us when we played Smash Bros. And everything. And my brother goes, oh, no, it's not. And he goes, why? And it's like, because our matches were close. I don't think Elijah's gonna lose. And he was just like, nah. I play against my little cousins all the time. I play against my little brothers all the time. They're really good at the game. And my brother goes, Elijah plays this game on stream. And he's like practicing. And like, he makes money from this. Like, he goes into lobbies and does 1v1s. And he's just like, nah, it can't be that good. And like, I didn't lose. And they were trying to switch characters. They were trying to figure it out. And they're like, I just would play Rob. And I would kind of cook him. And he went, maybe you're right. Maybe he is just better.
Maybe he really is just built like that.
Yeah, and I was just like, I took that one with stride. I was like, I wasn't expecting to lose. If you didn't play the game as much as I did, you weren't beating me. And guess what? He didn't. It also got so bad because they tried to do teams. And then I got put on the same team with my other cousin who didn't play the game at all, and he was really bad. And they were like, "Yeah, this should be fair," and we never lost. And I would win all the time. And then they were like, "I don't think we want to play this game with you anymore." I was like, "Dude, it's not my fault. When I play with my friend, my fault. I'll own up. I probably pushed him away from fighting games." They were talking shit, and they were talking like I wasn't gonna like wipe the floor with them, and I had to show them that they were in fact the mob.
They challenged you. They were the mob. Yeah, they're not the drink. They're not even the cup. Like
no.
Dude, Oh, go ahead.
No. I was gonna say that's why I feel like whenever I do play with people that I want to be friends, like when I'm friends with, or I go, dude, just play to have fun. And when you get to you'll find what you find. Like, you'll find your enjoyment in a fighting game when you play the fighting game. If you look at it on a surface level, you'll always just be like, this game looks hard or difficult, and you don't really actually put time into it. You'll probably never understand the joy of what a fighting game brings. And it's so weird. It's so weird.
Yeah. And like, honestly, that's the type of stuff that I kind of mean when I say that, like, people, like, the FGC should make more like variety content, right? Because like, and no shade to him, but when it comes to the FGC, like FGC stuff, as far as like variety content creation goes, like people like Dotto Doya has kind of like cornered that market, right? Where normally all that FGC content is like one of three things. It's like either people do like video analysis, or they do meme edits, or they just have like bog standard gameplay videos with no sort of like entertainer value in them per se, and the entertainment is just the high level gameplay in and of itself. There is not a lot of like content where people will just film themselves like having fun and like enjoying the different types of like facets of fighting games that they were originally meant to have, excuse me, before every fighting game just kind of turned into like, hey, what if we went to Evo with this, right? Like, um, and like doing stuff like that, I think would be so fucking healthy for the FGC. I think that type of stuff, like if more people were able to get on the market for that and the niche was able to like spread out, I think it would be fucking great. Like, for instance, the day I think FGC content died and it needs to be revitalized was and not FGC content dying, because there are people that make like video essays on like very niche content stuff like Guile Win Quotes and like Theory Fighter and like Core A Gaming. Those are my like some of my three favorite um FGC content creation videos. I love those guys' work. They make fantastic work. But as far as like actual gameplay videos, the day I think that type of content got really like kind of went down the drain and has never been as good as it used to be was the day that Gutex and Mike Ross Excellent Adventures stopped. I think the day that happened stopped. Do you know what that is, by the way?
I do not think I do.
So there are there were two FGC. Well, no, there's still one. There's two FGC personalities. Very famous personalities. One was Gutex, who was the original PogChamp emote on Twitch, the like Asian guy for the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
PogChamp emote. Yeah, he was the original PogChamp emote, and there was another guy, Mike Ross, Mike Ross.
Yeah, I know
Um,
who that.
yeah, and they used to have a channel that ended up getting rebranded as Cross Counter TV, but used to be called The Excellent Adventures of Gutex and Mike Ross. And what it was just two young motherfuckers living in California on a couch setup where they would have a camera guy kind of cammed in on them and they'd riff while playing Street Fighter 4 online. Like that was it. That was the entire thing. And they had like 5 years worth of content doing this. And then eventually Street Fighter 5 came out and they kept doing that, and they had a lot of like personalities that are still kind of mainstays. Like they had Smug, they had a very young Punk, like they had like a 2015 Punk on the show.
Damn.
Or 2016 rather. Uh Jean, Flo, rest in peace. Yeah, Broly Legs. Like they had like a lot of people on that show, but when it wasn't, it was just the two of them playing Street Fighter 4 / Street Fighter 5. Eventually they kind of stopped because Mike Ross hated Street Fighter 5 and he took a sabbatical from the FGC in general, and he only came back with the arrival of Street Fighter 6. Which is why one of the reasons why Mike Ross is such a like a beloved individual was because he was a really funny guy, and then he literally left the community for 7 years, and then he just showed up out of the blue with gray hair and everyone's like, "Oh, he's an uncle now." All right. But like stuff like that. That was the golden age of the FGC, dude. When I tell you that every single person in the FGC watched Gutex and Mike Ross, I am not joking. This wasn't one of those channels where some people were like, oh, did you see blah blah blah? And then some person was like, no, I don't really watch that channel. Or somebody would be like, hey, did you watch that tournament? And then they were like, no, I don't really like that game. Prime Excellent Adventures, you were like, did you see the new Excellent Adventures? Everyone would be like, yeah. Like they were a phenomenon. Like everybody watched Excellent Adventures of Gootecks and Mike Ross. That was like the single greatest FGC content creation period ever. But like when that stuff stopped, nobody really does that anymore. We've had some iterations of it, like with Moopoke, who did the Persona 4 like videos. I I think they might have changed their name. I can't remember what they changed their name to.
No, I think
And
they're still Lupo.
they might still be Moopoke. I could have swore I heard them changing the name, but I don't know what it would be. Moopoke, if they're still Moopoke. If not, then whatever their name is now. And I think someone called like Shoryuken Kid or Kid Shoryuken or something like that, where they would play Third Strike and they would just play Third Strike with their friends, and it was very funnily edited. But it was never just like the same flavor of like two doofy guys sitting on a couch just riffing and just having a good time. Like nobody really has just having a good time content anymore, or like variety content anymore, where they go out and they do like stuff where they kind of show the outside layer of the FGC, like personal vlogging and stuff. Or if they do, they do it very, very shortly. Like Hotashi used to kind of do like vlogging for his stuff. But yeah, I miss that type of stuff, man. I wish
I
some people would go back and recreate those days.
I grew up with what was what was Wooly in the thing? Best friends, like super
Oh,
best
super
friends,
best friends, yeah.
dude. And I was so sad when they broke up. But like that was like the content that I would take in. I didn't know about some of the fighting games that existed until they played it. And I was
Mhm.
like, dude, and they just be shooting the shit, hitting each other in this. I was like, dude, that is the funniest content. I still go back to some of the stuff like Anarchy Reigns. I'm like, dude, that is one of my favorite games, to be
Yeah.
honest. And I'm like, dude, it is well, one of my favorite games to watch. I've never played it, but like it was so heat. And then I'd watch like this guy named Alchemy, and I would play like Blaze Blue or something. It would be super loud and obnoxious for some stuff, but it was super funny. Because you can tell that they're just doing fuck shit just to do it. Like, oh damn, I'm a DP or I'm gonna super randomly, and it's just for fun, and it's so good. Like to be honest, I think if I wanted to make content, I'd do it like that too. Like you just get a bunch of friends in a lobby playing a game that everyone can agree upon, and you just start doing stupid. You're just like you're probably playing to win, but like you're still just doing stupid things because you can. It's not serious.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because I think about it, and I've seen how you play, and I've seen how we've played together. Like, bro, the amount of times I see super into super is the funniest thing. I still think it is hilarious when it happens. Like the most belligerent thing, and you're just like, yeah, you gotta hold that, and then you just nonchalantly, yeah, I can do that. I'm like, bro, I'd be loud. It's so good, and I love it so much.
Dude, we gotta find a way to like recreate that type of stuff. Dude, I keep telling Fredo, I'm like, Fredo has the perfect setup to go in his house and set up a camera, and then just on his big ass TV, just have like a PlayStation 5 with like Street Fighter 6 or something like that. And then just like record and like edit it and do like a weekly like series or something like that. And like that would be the ideal. Like obviously if it comes to it, I would be fine just doing it like over the internet, where we just go into like a lobby and just harass people. Honestly, I think the perfect game for it, this is a little unfortunate for what I've said earlier. I think the perfect game for it would be 2XKO, because
Oh,
2XKO is it finds itself in a very peculiar, a very unique spot where two people can be registered under the same like side of the screen and like still fight a completely different third or first or like fourth person, which is kind of what you need for that other one, right? Because Gutex and Mike Ross would be, they would do a couple games on the fight stick, and they would riff, they would talk and whatever, not even like specifically like worrying about like being good unless they had a moment where they were like, "Oh, I'm tired of losing to this guy. Let me lock in," you know. And even then, it was still funny. But it was like them sharing an account, right? But like you can't really do that with any other game unless you're willing to like parsec Street Fighter 6. But like 2XKO, we can each be our own individual person in fighting against somebody else. So if I ever decide to make 2SKO content, I might have to look into that, because as much as I don't necessarily care about 2XKO, I care more about making good content. I care more about making funny, good content for the FGC than I don't care about 2XKO. So
yeah,
maybe I might put Riot Vanguard on my computer, put that fucking kernel level anti cheat bullshit on my computer, just so I can make some good content.
yeah,
We'll
I
see.
get it. It's dude, every single time I think about like content like that, and I think about it a lot sometimes. But the most fun I've ever had, and I wish my Discord friends were in Medes and or they lived in Florida so I could just be like, yo, hear me out. I'm talking about you guys. You guys should pull up. But like my favorite piece of content is when we were playing whenever I play BB tag with them and we're just being dickheads to each other. And it's like not even like, okay, we go and pick teams and we're not playing top tiers or anything, but we're just like, hear me out.
Right,
Or
yeah.
we're just throwing DP. Wake up DP, DP again, DP again. You're gonna get hit by it at least once. And it's just like, bro, why are you an asshole? It's just like because it's funny.
Because it's
Why
funny.
not?
It's funny to
Like,
be a dickhead.
dude, I play Gang in that game, and I feel bad every single time I go into Semblance. But my favorite thing is getting hit, and then they either drop or mess up a string, or they try to do a mix-up or something. And I am just like, oh. It's just go. You see her go into Semblance, and all you hear is "I burn," and you're like, wait a second. There's a gap, huh?
Oh.
And you just super them, and they're like, bro, what the fuck is this? And I'm like, man, this character sucks.
You're burning up, right? Yeah.
Dude, it is the most peak time ever. I fucking love it. And I think you can make so much good content on a game like that. And I wish more people want to play BB Tech.
Yeah. It definitely. I think there also needs to be a surge, not a surge, well, not a resurgence. It's kind of new of like gamer duos or trios or like groups. As far as like fighting game stuff goes, there's like a couple groups that like do that, but they're definitely more like casual or like variety. But like there's no like inherently FGC based like duo or group right now that's like known to do specifically that type of content where they come in like a package, and one is like, oh, that's the guy that is with Elijah, or that's the guy that's with Isiah. Like there's nothing specifically like that now. I don't know listen, we might be on to something here. We might have a day. Um, See about making some dumbass fucking 2x scale content because my editing game's been kind of up there, and I don't need to pay an editor. I just need to rein back my ADHD.
I mean, dude, actually, I am down. It doesn't even have to be only 2x KO content. If it's just friends shooting the shit, just being a dick, dude, I can wrap in so many people from a Discord server that just want to play a fighting game that are just head asses. Like
Yeah.
I have a friend named Aharen who just genuinely, when he plays a fighting game against people like strangers, yeah, he's trying to play the game. But when he's playing against people he wants to have fun, boy oh boy, will you figure out the extent of what he's willing to do to a person and that he calls his friend. Like, it is so crazy. Like, I go back to BB Tag, but he was just like, dude, I am not having fun playing some of these characters. And then my other friend Memba is just like, bro, play a Dachi. And he picked up a Dachi and he was just like, man, this game is sick, bro. I get a full screen beam. I get unlockables. Oh my god. And then he was just like, yo, we should play BB Tag. And then he's just like, oh yeah, you want to do this to your friends, bro? You're a dickhead.
Oh yeah, dude. Fucking dumb shit like that is like exactly the type of people like you. You need people with like head assery aura. Like I remember I used to play Dragon Ball Fighters with some friends, and we used to do the 3v3 mode. I remember we used to all choose Ginyu, and then you go in the game, you're all Ginyu, and then I Ginyu Force, and then the other person Ginyu Forces, and then one more person Ginyu Forces, and then you body change. And then you make it so that you all start as Ginyu, but you all end up as a different person on the other team.
Dude.
when the match is over. Like goofy stuff like that is like the exact type of energy that like FGC content creation needs. And yeah, maybe there might be some people who do exactly that and they just like aren't well known, and that's I'm sorry, because it is very possible, because unfortunately people don't like to look at things that are not already like blowing up in numbers in the way that they consider like blowing up in numbers, right? Like even going back to fucking like Dotto Doya. Like Dotto Doya didn't really blow up until he started doing the like Three Idiots videos with Rhyme Style and Syriax. Like he didn't really blow up until he already started hanging out with like established people. Not that his content never deserved to blow up, because it definitely did. Like he was one of the only like main Dragon Ball fighters people who were doing like consistent, and I mean like consistent content on Dragon Ball Fighters. But yeah, he didn't really get that big start until then. But yeah. I I was gonna say one more thing. I I will say that when it comes to that type of stuff, I think that talking about it is fine. I think we just have to do it. Like I think what needs to end up happening is that no matter what type of content I have in the background, or no matter what I'm doing, if I'm like interested in something, I just need to say like fuck it. Like I'm just gonna like find somebody and I'm just gonna be like, hey, record some content for like 35 minutes with me, right? And then we'll piece it together, and then you'll get the end result on fucking Tuesday or whatever.
Yeah. It is just like because I think there's so many people that when they make content, they think their content has to either be like informative, like fighting game. At least FGC, it seems that like most content they want to, they have to show that they're like really good at the game, or that they're really informative, and or you're a commentator and you get to just kind of do whatever you want at that point. But like that's not the point. Right. But it's just like it's just like you should also try to have fun with this game. This game can be played with friends. This game can be played with people. I don't think friends being dickheads to each other gets stale. At least I never thought. Because like if super best friends was still a thing, like if like the issues didn't happen and they were still playing and still being shitheads and fighting games or whatever, I still think I'd be watching them. I 100% would be watching that still, just because the energy of, oh man, the energy of like coming home and just having people just genuinely enjoy just being around another person and they're just being friends is like an energy that I like coming home to. Granted, I will say the occasional punk dunking on a person is like a very, very good thing to see sometimes, because I'm like, dang, look how good this guy is. This is some high level content.
Yeah.
But like sometimes I need to see a man wake up, do nothing, walk slowly, and try to grab their friend and be a dickhead.
Yeah, and there's even an art to that. Like, there's an art to being a shithead too. You can definitely be good at being a dickhead to people.
Yeah, like it's super funny. Like I'd have so many stories. Like my friend Hunt, he's not into fighting games, but he will play games with us because he wants to play games with his friends.
Yeah.
And I was like, you can play BB tag. BB tag is so simple. All you need to do is know how to do is play a quarter circle, and it's all good. And he plays Noel, and he plays Noel Seth, and the amount of leveling up this man has done, and it puts me in a really, really sour mood. Not seriously, but like when I get hit with stupid Noel shit and I'm like livid, it hits me. But it's so funny when it happens. I know that if like my friends are watching and they're like, dude, that shit's stupid, and they're laughing in the background. It's like, this is some good content. This would be very good content. I'm just not streaming it and or recording it, and I'm like, this is goofy. But it's just like stuff like that. You're just like new player, or you just friends around the same level. Now you don't even need to be in the same level, dude. You just have them just say shit, just shoot the shit and play the game, and it's super good. And it can be like any game. Like it's like I said, fighting. It doesn't even have to be only fighting games. Like the amount of times I just like pop off when I'm playing like Marvel Rivals or the finals or COD or whatever, and it's just like unnecessary, but it's really funny. It's just you just need more. I think the FGC just needs more like that.
Yeah. People, exactly. People willing to be goofy dickheads with each other, and also, yeah, I think the FGC like making like established FGC people making like other like content, like playing like Peak or something like that. Like, do you know how crazy that would be if like Yipes and Justin Wong did like a Peak stream, dude?
Dude,
Like or like some sort of like streamer, whatever the latest streamer slop is, like Lethal Company or something. That would be fucking fantastic. Or playing that, even streaming that shitty AI game, which I think it's another thing fucking Dotto Doyle did. Was streamed that awful fucking AI game for his sponsorship. Wait,
yeah.
oh my god. Okay. I have something I want to talk about. If you had a thought, please finish it up, because I want to tell you about something magnificent.
Oh no, my thoughts are done. I'm chilling.
Okay. Speaking of AI, there's an you might be like, what does this have to do? Do you know who the Wonderbread Guy is?
Oh, oh no, no, I do not.
I talk about this motherfucker. This is only the third episode, but I've talked about him the first and second episode at this point. Oh my god. I talk about him every single time with one of my best friends, one of my brothers, Chewin, who is, I guess he's been in every episode except this one, so I guess he would be essentially like a co-host, but he's not here. Um, there's a guy that is just known as the Wonderbread Guy, who will. It's on one hand, it's not hard to talk about, but it is hard to say because it's so awkward. He will hire artists to draw a white woman with blonde hair and blue eyes buying Wonder Bread.
Okay.
and
Bro,
and, and like that's it. That's literally it. But like it's so bad. Like it's like really, really weird. Like he'll have her just like buying out an entire store's inventory of Wonder Bread. Uh or like, oh man, like he like it gets like involved with like deforestation even. Like like sometimes like the lady will have like a Wonder Bread skinned chainsaw and she'll be cutting entire trees down in like a forest. And like just to make like a factory of like Wonder Bread in the background. And like
bro.
sometimes it's random white women, but sometimes it's like white women that are like real. Like, or by real, I mean like they're like all they have like an established IP behind them. Like fucking like Pacifica Northwest from Gravity Falls will sometimes be the white woman that he uses to have these white women buy all the Wonder Bread out of the store. And it's insane. Like
Oh my god.
it's so it's almost nonsensical. And there are some videos where they like interview the Wonder Bread guy and like speak to them and get their thought process. But like I'm not interested in those at all. I am only interested in the mythology of the Wonder Bread guy. I don't want to know who this person is. I don't want to hear what he sounds like. I don't want to know what he looks like. I just want to be aware of the Wonder Bread guy. And the reason why I brought this all up is because I remembered suddenly when AI uh first started, or like when like AI like first blew up, I remember he made a post, or somebody said that they had a post from him where he was essentially saying um that because AI existed now, he didn't need to commission people, and now he could make AI art of white women deforesting entire sections of the planet Earth with Wonder Bread paraphernalia.
That man is just this excited about women in Wonder Bread that he do that. Let me do that,
Yeah,
bro.
it's incredible.
That's kind of low key funny, actually.
It's one of the single greatest things, and the AI comment immediately, like it was like it like swirled to the front of my mind because I hadn't thought about this motherfucker in so long. But when I learned about it, I was like, this is absolutely incredible.
Bro,
And
there
like
ain't no
knowing that you could just AI it, oh my god.
dude. The amount of speak of AI, we did like AI. Obviously, AI is miserable from time to time, actually. But the stuff that just AI has produced, and I am like, God damn it, why did I find this funny? Like, I go on Instagram and I scroll, and I'm like, okay, what's this? And it's like an AI video of a military man recruiting people to go to like a war, and it's just like the most outlandish thing that happened, and I chuckle and I laugh, and I'm like, oh no. I'm like, no, why no, why did I think this was funny? As I'm like looking through their account, and I'm like, okay, it's miserable from time to time. Let me tell you, if only AI was used for good.
I
If only AI,
laughed and discovered it was AI.
dude, I get
Bro,
so
too sent
upset.
its horror.
Dude, I go in, I'm like scrolling through my Twitter, I'm like, this is pretty good art, and I see a picture of a character, I'm like, oh, this is a banger. And I go to click like, and I see an extra finger on her hand. I'm like, ew, no, I can't do it. I can't do it.
That's one of those things. Sometimes AI produces like the type of people who use AI. Sometimes they produce something that is completely unironic, but it's really, really fucking funny. Like when NFTs were starting to be a thing, and those little fuck ass monkeys, you know, dude,
Yeah, yeah.
dude, those fucking monkeys. People, they tried to make a TV show. They tried to make a cartoon show, and they made a fucking pilot. They made a pilot of one of these like NFT monkeys, and this NFT monkey is like stealing like a vial from this like corporation, and it's got like this like um like flash drive in it, and his voice is AI animated, or his voice is AI voiceover, and the animation is like AI animated, and like everything he's doing and everything that's around him is like AI. And it's so shitty, right? Because obviously it's like there's so much of this that could have like human love behind it, but instead they've decided to do that,
Yeah.
but at the exact same time.
Oh,
It's so
dude.
fucking funny.
Dude, speaking of a thing with AI, right? I say to dislike AI, but I found out something super upsetting. Uh, are you aware of a game called Foam Stars?
Foam Stars? No, I'm not. I've never
Have
heard of
you
Foam
heard
Stars.
you've heard of Splatoon, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was I don't remember the game. It was like Sony's idea of Splatoon, but instead of paint, it's like bubbles and stuff like that, right?
Okay.
It did not do too good because first of all, that game did not launch free to play, which it should have, and it was like a $40 or $50 price tag, and it was like if like for Diet Splatoon when you could just buy Splatoon at that point if you owned a Switch.
Right.
Uh, and also like the gameplay and the stuff was a little weird, and it wasn't too good. Like it's just like you just put it next to Splatoon and you go, why would I buy the worst painting?
Right. When I
Uh,
could get Splatoon.
yeah, when I could get Splatoon. But what really killed it for a lot of them, for like what killed it for like at least for my friends and a handful of people I know, is that they had their OST, the art for their albums and stuff like that, just for the songs, they were made with AI,
Oh no.
and everyone was miserable about it. They're like, "Oh, this is really bad. Like, oh my god, the art is AI. It's so bad. It's so bad." Which is right. Respectfully, they didn't hire an artist to make album art, which I think would have been perfectly fine. This would have been cool. But all that to say, I was so mad when I found out that Foam Stars has a fucking banger OST. Like, they got some really good singers. Like, one of the lady that sings, I think, the English song for Nier Automata is just on the OST and sings one of my favorite songs from that OST. Never played the game, did not really care for it, but watched a video of a person being like, why did Foam Stars fail? I liked this game. And I feel like if they marketed this better and if it was free, it would have been perfect. And then they were like, dude, the music in this game, though, is super good. And I listened to one of the songs and I was so upset. Because, like, if they didn't fuck it up, if it wasn't AI, I think the music by itself probably would have at least saved a handful of this game. And it upset me. It was so upsetting. AI ruined so much for me.
AI has definitely ruined a strong amount of things. Yeah, that one I will not disagree with. I think that's unfortunately I kind of feels like the times, which it like really sucks saying it, but like every once in a while, like something about humanity will reach a like type of homeostasis where no matter if it is good or bad, reality will not want to remove itself of it. And unfortunately, I think AI is like now one of those things. Like, regardless of if AI has good intentions or regardless of if somebody's using AI for bad intentions, I think AI is kind of just gonna just keep continuing to happen, especially because there's so much money behind it. Like, I don't want this stream to turn into anything political, so I won't. But there's a lot of reasons why AI is not really going anywhere anytime soon. So unfortunately, sometimes I think what just has to happen is you just have to like make fun of AI and then just go about your day. Like that's kind of like all you have the ability to do.
Yeah. It sucks. It's just like, man, I remember back in the day when we just like everything was just made by hand and we were making people stay overtime and letting them not see their family.
Yeah, why not just clock in another 20 hours overtime, you know?
Yeah, dude. Like, you have a family, dude. Animation and artists and stuff, like, every single time I think about it, I feel so bad. I feel so bad.
What would you rather want, AI or for Mappa animators to see their family? Like those are
You
what
either
call
let
it.
them go, but you have to have AI, or AI is gone, but they never get to see their family.
Never get
Boy,
to see their family.
that trolley problem would be a little rough, to be
Yeah.
honest. I'm not gonna front with you.
Yeah. Do you want Jujutsu Kaisen season 3 to look like AI, but that meant that Mappa animators got to have dinner with their children and like go to their soccer games and like experience what it's like to have a family? Or do you want Jujutsu Kaisen season 3 to look like it like every frame of it could be posted on top of the Sistine Chapel, but somebody developed jaundice during that overwork at Mappa. Like somebody contracted something really bad, not from like a sickness per se, but just from like a weak body. just from their
Yeah,
body getting
dude.
so weak from being overworked.
Dude, it'd be really bad. It'd be really bad.
You gotta call it like fucking Anton Sugar. You gotta flip the coin, call it. Like, what do you want?
Dude, nah. If it's anything with Mappa and Jujutsu Kaisen, just call it Suna. What the heck is the main guy's name? Main
Sukuna?
antagonist, Sukuna. Jesus Christ,
Sukuna?
I was dying, man. As soon as it says Sukan, these nuts got him.
Yeah, Salcon, you got him.
I'm a child. I'm sorry. No, I am a grown 24-man adult who made a suck on these joke. Yeah, in 2020, big old 2025. I'm cooked.
Hey, think about it this way: other people were older than you making that joke when that joke first came out. So
True.
small blessings. Always remember the George Carlin bit of, if you think you're average, realize that means that there are 4 billion other dumb motherfuckers out there that are dumber than you. That's
You
just
know
what that
what?
means. If you
Fair.
think you're 50%, that means there's 4 billion other motherfuckers out there stupider than you. So, it's not
That's
that
a
bad when you think about it like that.
that's a pretty good average when I think. Yeah, you're right. That's a pretty good one.
When you really think about it, you're kind of highballing right now. You're kind of going crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a great stopping point for this episode of episode 3 of the Scambles Podcast. Again, I've been Isiah with my wonderful guest this episode, Eggy123, aka Elijah. You have any platforms you want to shill before the stream ends?
I stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/Eggy123. I play a variety of games. Usually, though, it's Mario Kart, but like I could play more fighting games on stream. Battlefield's about to drop. Actually, Silk Song's about to drop, so that might be like my infatuation for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no. You can follow me on X or I would push you to my YouTube channel. I have not been posting on that, so yeah, just go to the Twitch. It'll be fine.
The YouTube channel stuff might happen one day. It might happen.
Yeah, it might happen. But yeah, no, yeah. But thank you for having me. If this is a reoccurring thing, I definitely am down for this.
Hell yeah.
And thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. All right, well, we're gonna call it there. Thank you everybody for watching. Hopefully I can make this a consistent thing on top of the other content that I'm doing for it. I've got more supplemental content related to the podcast happening in the future on top of other content that I have coming out in the meanwhile. So I'm gonna have my hands busy. Hopefully I can deliver with that. But yeah, thank you everybody for showing up, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye. All right, that's it.